All right, and we are live with no audio issues.
No audio issues at all. And
So-
look, you can see us.
Yeah, true. So if the only reason you watch is to watch us struggle with audio every week, you don't have to watch this one. We're good.
Yeah, turn it off before we have audio issues.
Right. Anyway, hello and welcome to Developer Insights. I'm David,
And I'm Justin.
and together we are the leads on game development and design here at Codename.
And not only that, we also founded Codename.
We're going to be your hosts for this episode and every episode, I believe.
Yeah, because when we're not here, the show doesn't happen.
Still holds up.
Anyway, welcome everyone to our 112th episode. In this episode, we're going to be handing out major spoilers for features and content.
No.
coming
What are you doing?
What?
That's next week.
Oh, I thought it was this episode.
No, that's February 8th, remember?
Oh yeah, February 8th. I remember now. We're not even supposed to be hyping it up.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, well, in that case, welcome to this normal, regular episode with like normal, regular answers to normal, regular questions.
You can hype
or
this
something.
episode up.
What? Well, these rules are so confusing. I don't.
It's
Anyway.
straightforward.
We're here to, I guess, to answer development and design questions about Idle Champions.
That's true. But if you don't ask any questions, however, you may, this has never happened yet, have to suffer through Justin's one-man cooking show, Where's the Beef?
Yeah.
101 beef-based meals.
Yeah. We'll make ragu. We'll make we'll cook some steaks. We'll fry up some burgers. I bought 500 pounds of ground beef just in case we don't get any questions today. It's sitting over there in the sun.
Wow. Not only am I not sure that that's a wise decision, I did not read this in advance, so that was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to need a bigger freezer.
Yeah, it might be too late for that.
Oh, dear.
Okay. Anyway, as always, we have pulled forward some questions from the previous show that we didn't get to last time, so we will answer some of those while we're waiting for new questions to come in. Yes, that's what we do. But before we get to those, I do have some updates. I say this every time. I really have to make them do those updates. You know,
There are updates.
There's small updates. I think the big problem is with sort of the big features like collections being worked on. No one has had extra cycles to work on a lot of the items are on that list, so it's a slow-moving list. We'll find out on February 8th.
No, that's some date in the future.
Right. Yes, and on the fixes/new features list, I have a very nebulous listed item here that says that there were offline progress improvements. Actually, it's singular.
There were improvements, and I think the reason we put it in quotes is because we're hoping that there are improvements, but we basically just changed some of the heuristics on what causes offline progress to stop to hopefully fix some of the bugs.
Yes, they were dialed in a little bit more generously, so hopefully they get a little further,
Yes.
but not too far that your account gets banned.
Yes.
All
Fingers
right.
crossed, everyone.
That said, I also do have an in-progress list, and I've been looking at this list here and looking at the actual list and trying to decide how much of this... Oh, are you kidding?
Oh,
Sure.
You've been signed out.
Well, that's convenient.
Okay, we're just typing in a password here.
If it's not audio issues, it's something else. It's Windows trying to do a
Your
reboot.
password is 123452.
12345 password.
Ah,
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
the same password on my luggage.
That's how it came. Right.
Are you going to read through that entire list?
I was thinking about it, parts of it, because we're going to increase the bounty contract limit to 1,000, and we want to add a sort on the champion selection dialog for filtering in the shop. Wait, is that done? This list might not be... I have a nebulous one here that literally just says fix freely.
Fix freely.
Yep. Adding seat fill to the timegate selection, gender onto the console character sheet. Not returning the deleted formation saves in the user load. That was a clever one that was mentioned to us 2 streams ago. Having the legendary screen have the show legendary levels checkbox save what state it was in. Adding an option to skip showing the cards on chest open so it jumps right to the result window. We are looking into the iOS icon quality issue that was mentioned. Peter actually spent about an hour trying to figure out why that was happening, and he couldn't actually track down which texture was causing it, which was a little concerning. We do want to add a tooltip to the potion so you can see what is active without clicking, and a sort filter to the quest tracker, the option to open/buy or show chests for a champion right from the champion sheet. We are still looking into whether we can do a mobile minimized view. We want to put the attack types and roles to the bench slot want to put the attack types and roles on the bench slot formation champion hover pop-up so you can see which ones there. In fact, I think we had kind of discussed making that whole thing like potentially sortable and filterable. I know Jarrett was actually giving me a hard time yesterday about it because we've got so many champions at this point. He actually, when working on them, has a hard time finding them.
Yes, I find whenever I log into Dev that I need to like go use up all my chests before I try and do anything on there. So yes.
We're going to put a tooltip to show the name of the Modron core on the multi-party dialog so you can see the name of the core. The familiars are actually not being saved in the formation saves on the potion manager. They're not coming back with recall. It appeared to not be true that you could recall them from the potion manager, but it does look like they're not saved on formations, so that needs to be added. And improving the area navigation so that you can jump around between areas more quickly. And there's a few other ones sprinkled in here that I didn't get to, and we will try and manage this list going forward. Okie dokie. Yeah, let's get started with the questions left over from last week. We actually have a few this time. Okay, first question.
Oh yeah, this one was from Jorathonis. You know, I actually, no, never mind, I won't tell you that story. So Jorathonis says, I heard you say that the control LLL screen now shows damage and HP. I do not see it. Please clarify.
If I open the game.
I think we ran this past Peter after
he said it was
last
there.
week.
He promised.
He said. But maybe it was not until like a later build or something.
I don't know. But I'm launching the game right now.
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, it's got sound.
It has sound enabled.
This must be the first time you've launched it on this computer.
I think so.
Or
Yeah.
reinstalled it or something.
Okay, it's loading. Loading user account. Starting game.
Yeah.
This really takes a long time for the game to launch, you know?
Oh, now you're calculating offline progress.
Yep, that's a thing. Oh,
You've
Berry
reached
50,
area
100,
50.
125.
Oh,
130.
Oh, you're slowing down.
Oh,
133,
completing.
Completing. Wow. You got a pretty bad formation going on there if you're only able to reach area 133.
Okay, so we got it up. Continue.
Okay.
All right, control LLL.
Well, there's absolutely nothing in that log because you're not killing the enemies.
We'll figure this out.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't have. That just says it was killed
It is
by...
not there.
All right.
That's it. Peter's in trouble.
Peter is... Well, we can't fire him because we kind of need him to do work.
I didn't say, I said trouble. I didn't say, wow, that escalated quickly. All right, highlight that one. We're going to check it. Or
Yeah.
we're going to find out why Peter believes that it's done and it doesn't appear to be done.
Track down Peter and ask him nicely why it doesn't work. Anyway.
Yeah, cool.
Next question here is from Valkith, who asks, is there any progress being made on being able to play in windowed mode again on the Mac OS Steam client? I haven't been able to click anything unless I'm in full screen mode since the last OS update.
Yes. We did determine the reason why it wasn't working, and I believe it was because Apple hates you.
Well, they either hate us or they hate you,
yeah.
so I mean, why not both?
So I know that the game was that if you put your Mac into game mode, then it worked. And in full screen, it defaulted to going into game mode, which is why it worked in full screen. I know Peter was having a hard time tracking down exactly what was causing it, and so I actually went out and bought him a new Mac M2 Pro, which he can now use to test that, because up until then we didn't have the latest version. We had an older MacBook Pro
That
we
didn't
were
even
using.
let you update to the latest version of
No,
Mac
no, it was
OS.
4 or 5 years old, the one that we were using for that.
Obsolete.
I know, right? At any rate, we have bought a new MacBook. Peter is now testing on that book. Close enough.
Yeah.
And we're going to find out what's going on there.
Yes. So there is progress.
That is true.
Yeah.
I think still the answer is that Apple doesn't like us very much. But next question. This one is from Max I. Kubert. Are stories for adventures you finished going to make it into the collections dialogue?
Yes.
That was an
that's
easy
a
one.
spoiler for next week, but yes. Yes, they are going to be in there. They are in there.
I've seen them.
I've seen them too. Adam's seen them too, and he
That's
didn't
true.
like the way they were
He
displayed.
critiqued the layout. Yes, he was not happy with that. So it will be better than it was. It was on the list of things to change.
It is on the list of things to update, but yes.
Okie dokie. Next question.
Yeah, this one's from Roughlag. I'm just going to ask you all the purple ones.
All right, go for
it. They asked last episode, is it possible to sort it out so that new events show up without having to close the game and reopen it? This person said they missed out on the Astral Elf gems for the first day. I guess because the event didn't show up for them.
Yes. The answer is no. Sort of. The answer is sort of.
Is it possible? Yes.
There is some period of time through which you have to have reopened the game client. I'm trying to remember what the internal mechanism for that one is. Like, we don't like to kick you out, and often we end up having to push out a new build or updates that you just don't have the data yet because you haven't closed and reopened your client. Or you don't have the actual code because you haven't gotten an updated client, which means you can't actually run the event yet. And if the event data came back and it tried to run it, it might crash, which would be bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think for stuff like this, for the emergences, I think it's primarily data. I doubt there would be any new code there. So it's just a matter of kind of
right.
It's
Sorry, I was reading for events, but yes, the emergence is not an event per se. The way that we
technically it is, but yeah.
yeah, is it actually running in that system?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that makes sense. That's why it's not there.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think it'll show up. I don't think you have to close the game and reopen. I think you could probably just switch parties and it would probably show up, or like doing a reset, it might show up. It really depends on sort of whether or not the base defs that you downloaded when you opened the game had the information in them, and because that does exist usually for new stuff, as long as you open it at least within a couple of days of the event coming out. But it's a tough thing to do. I think if we started sort of coding the game from the ground up, we would probably try to get that in there so that new content could sort of dynamically load in, even if the game was running when possible. But it's definitely a more challenging thing from an implementation development side.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe sort of a stopgap that we could consider doing at this point would be just something that at least said, hey, there's new content, you need to refresh to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That also, of course, also creates a challenge, and this is also part of the reason we don't, or part of the reason that we didn't, or we don't kind of push this kind of thing, is because getting everyone who's playing the game to refresh their clients at the same time tends to lead to red lines on the server. So,
yes. All right, next question, and the last one left over from last week is from DS Customs. And they would like to know, they say, Halo Season 2 premieres on February 8th. Is the February 8th announcement that the Master Chief is coming to Idle Champions?
Yeah, you got us. That's true. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Master Chief coming. It's actually Season 8 spoilers for you here. So it's the Halo season. We're going to have Master Chief, Cortana, the Arbiter, Sergeant Johnson.
That's what's written right here.
And that grunt that when you shoot it in the head, it goes, hooray!
That is the best feature in a game ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you heard it here first. Definitely no sarcasm, 100% truthful spoilers.
Yeah.
Asterisk. 100% sarcasm, no
Chris
spoilers.
is going to be really mad at you, Justin.
He's like, how could you spoil that? He told you not to spoil things.
You let the cat out of his bag. His bag is empty.
Why did he have a cat in his bag?
I don't understand. That makes no sense.
Stop.
That's
keeping
not where
a
you
cat
keep
in your
cats.
bag. Yeah.
Okay.
Let us move on to new questions.
Give Justin a shake. He's gone crazy. Schrodinger's cat is dead in the bag.
Oh dear.
First new question of the day. Let's move on with that instead of what we're saying. This one is from Meow Arf Moo. Question is, has a roaming familiar for character level ever been discussed? Similar to how the way alts work. I know folks would likely grow out of needing it, but though it thought it could possibly help newer players, at least something to help get a formation fully out onto the field, even if it randomly chose who to level or was capped.
Yeah, it's...
Sounds a little OP.
It does sound quite OP compared to, it basically take your requirements for familiars down from 10 to 1 to get a full party out there. And we do make money and fund the game through through the sales of familiars. So
Familiars are
unlikely
a
to be
popular
something.
item, yeah.
Unlikely to be something we'll implement. But I definitely understand why people would want it, and it
It'd be
would
very powerful.
It would be quite powerful.
Okie dokie. Wow, you've gone through and just taken everything.
I have taken
Yeah,
everything. You can
all
take
right.
some of these questions if you want.
I'm just looking for stuff further down. All right, next question. This is also from Meow Arf Moo. Would it be possible to show an estimated completion/time remaining for trials based on the current projected damage? Maybe just on the main trials map where it shows the remaining time of day and week.
Yeah, I think that would be probably relatively easy to do.
Just
Obviously
like the file copy window estimator.
Well, at least this one, this one
easy,
wouldn't
they
likely
say.
go backwards, right? Like there's not really a
Someone
way.
stops, yeah.
No, there's no way in trials to lose DPS. That was by design.
Okay.
So once you have that DPS, you have it, and so we could tell you like the absolute longest, I guess it would take. So yeah, I mean, it feels like that'd be pretty simple to do. It's also something you can do just with a calculator, but obviously we don't. If we can easily do that for you and display that, then yeah, we should. I'll highlight that one. We can add it onto that list.
Okay, I'm gonna look at this.
You found anything good?
Uh,
They're all just regular questions.
Yeah. Oh dear. Next question. This one is from Emote. Do you know if any progress has been made on fixing the Jiang Sao in the background? I've had her in the background party for 2 weeks now, and she's gained 0 stars. That's right, Justin. 0 stars.
No stars. Wow.
Yeah. While certainty in that same party has accrued 30 robot stacks.
Are you reading the same words?
Reboot stacks.
There you
Reboot
go.
stacks.
Yeah, certainty in
Fine,
her
it's all
robot
fine
stacks.
here.
Yeah.
I think a champion should have robot stacks.
So this is another one where
They're like Roombas.
stacking robots. Yeah. This is another one where I've talked to Peter about this one, and he says that he can't figure out why this is happening for some people, and that it's not happening for him when he's testing it. So I think it's one of those things where we kind of need some more information from folks, more specific information, kind of about like what formations you're running, what kind of progress they're making, maybe even things like which background party they're running in. Like,
I mean, it works for Peter because he's running in the client that also has like the kill, like the health and the kill, on the kill screen there.
He's making all. He's been making all of these fixes on a branch and then building master and being like, yeah, they're all there. Yeah. So. Yeah, this is something where I have passed this one on to Peter, and he swears that it, well, he doesn't swear that it works. He just says that it works for him. So I will highlight it again. I will pass it along to him again, and eventually, if we pass it along enough times, we'll wear him down, and he'll magically deduce why it is happening and fix it.
It's saying they did send in a ticket, and Peter can copy the account and test it. Yeah, I mean, typically that's what he would do. He'd look at it because a copy comes in with the ticket. So.
Yep.
Huh. Okay.
We'll take another look at that one.
Can't call it master anymore. It's 2024. Nope, that's what it's still called.
It's still called that. Yeah.
Next question is from Arandram. Any way you guys would reconsider letting pigments Every time, pigments. Dismantled on Lego Dismantle. So those of us who actually engage with Legendary. Okay, sorry.
It's when you give your Lego ship. That
Yeah,
you've
I
been
got
working
distracted,
on
and
to
then I
your
actually was
4-year-old
picturing someone
niece or
disassembling
nephew.
Lego, and I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
trying to come up with something clever to say, and I didn't. Anyway, so those of us who actually engage with and include new champions in our formations can get more than half a team's worth, with 20 plus tied up on champs rotated out.
Yeah, so I think this is probably something that we will end up doing. It does feel like Pigments and Legendary Dismantle are kind of in the same kind of realm of trying to get those support items onto champions you are currently using. So yeah, I think this is probably something we'll end up doing down the road for the Legendary Dismantles.
Okay, next question. This one is from OG17, asking, Presto's component ability says it rolls when you defeat a boss, but it actually only rolls for the gem bag from the first boss kill per run, making it much less farmable. Is this intended? And if so, could the description be changed? Also, such character achievements were previously able to be completed at a player's leisure, which is nice for the more tedious or overtuned ones, but now they're all released with the time constraint of 100% bonus quests. Could this be reworked?
Yeah, so for the first part of your question there, I believe it is intended that it's just the first boss, so you can't just sit in Area 5 and just farm up the maximum number without having to actually make progress in a run. So that's definitely intended. We should update the description for that, and we will do that. For character achievements, they were previously able to be completed at a player's leisure. They are still technically able to be completed at a player's leisure, but our intention with them generally was that they be completable within the event. This one, Presto's is clearly overtuned. So we will be, I sent a request to Peter to update that data, and he should be getting that in with our next push to reduce that down from 1,000, I think, down to 200, which should make it more doable for folks. I think that's just, at that point, that's 20 runs to Area 500, which is pretty doable, I think, within 2 weeks. So.
Oh, yes, this was what you were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a nerf to that, or not a nerf, but a reduction in the challenge of that is underway, and I'll look at the description for Presto's thing there so that it will work.
It's your mind tricking you. Okay, next question. They're not animated. I swear they're not animated.
Yeah, those are animated.
Oh, are they?
The candle flames. Yeah, they're bouncing back and forth. They're doing a little jiggle. Right up here. Over there. See?
Okay.
Obviously.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Just look behind you.
It's true. Candles don't move at all. How could that even be a thing?
We just got everyone to lean in really close to their monitors to double check.
Someone's got a nose print on it now. Right, next question. This is from Dark Drake 0210. Does Presto's component scavenger work while offline?
It should. It should work while offline.
Did nobody check?
I hope it does.
We were supposed to check.
I didn't
It was
personally
supposed to
check.
be added to be checked.
I believe we've added checking offline progress stuff to the QA list, and it should be one of those that's actually very easy to make work, because it's a simple 10% heuristic. Every 10 bosses you kill, drop one component if you have space. So yeah.
So they can do the math.
It does for Emote and Mayhem Disaster. So yeah.
Okay. Next question. It's purple, but you can't ask me this because I don't know the answer. This one is from Garwar. And Garwar would like to know, currently if you get 3 of the same type of legendary effects on a champion, that effect disappears from the list, making it look like you can't get it anymore. However, you still can.
Oh.
Can we get this fixed, as that can really confuse people? Now, what does fixed mean? Like added back to the list, or so you can't actually
Make
get
it so
it?
you
So
can't
get
actually
it.
get it. I mean, we can go in either direction. I think the intention was actually that
You couldn't get it
that
anymore.
you couldn't get it
Yeah.
anymore, which I think is probably why it doesn't show up in the list. So I mean, I can look into that. I can design can take.
Star Wars says you
take
should
a
be able to
think.
get it 6 times.
Design can take a think on that and decide whether being able to get the same effect 6 times is good, and then we can fix it in whichever direction we choose on. So we'll take a look at that one.
Okay.
Do you know the answer to this next one?
No, I was just trying to figure out if we were being accused of being lazy or not. If that was the.
I mean, if we're not in chat, I'm sure we are somewhere.
Can you give any? All right, next question. This is from Dice42. Can you give any details on the background progress changes?
Yeah, that'd be the offline progress stuff we talked about at the top of the show. I know roughly what they were. If you,
I know a little bit. I know Peter was talking through some of them with me just to make sure that they weren't like going to have any unforeseen consequences.
Mhm.
I'm going to go all Half-Life on them.
Don't push the specimen into the beam, Peter. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, you can share what you remember.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the main thing that we talked about changing, and I think that got changed was, so the way it worked before is you kind of the simulation would enter an area, and then it would simulate that area for a while. And if you killed a certain number of monsters, it would say, you can get through this area, and then it would jump forward a bunch of areas, try to simulate that area. If you got killed, or if you didn't kill enough monsters in the time, it would knock you back. It would try to find sort of that sweet spot where your progress should be. But that all relied on sort of the simulation continuing to run correctly in the background. Yep. And I guess there were potentially, we think some of the bugs were caused by issues where like monsters would stop spawning or champions would stop attacking.
Find some cases where there were monsters that were dead but weren't dead.
Yeah.
Like they had negative health.
Yeah, so like in the something about sort of the speed or the way that the simulation was being run headless or something like that was causing these kind of weird edge cases, which we think were responsible for some of the cases where you'd load up the game and you'd be like in an area where you are just destroying enemies. And it's like, you've been offline for a week and a half and you're in area 23 or something like that. So the fix we did for that, I think, was to, if we get in that case where you haven't killed anything or whatnot, before we say, hey, you can't beat this area, we quickly check your last reported bud, and if it's a certain multiple of the monster health, we go, actually, we think there's probably something wrong here, and we just send you forward, assuming that with that bud, you would be able to kill those monsters. And we're hoping that will sort of, by changing areas forward, that'll unbreak whatever was broken in that previous area and allow the simulation to continue properly. I think we also used that to kind of skip forward a little bit more while trying to figure out what your kind of target area is so that it would be a little bit faster, but I'm not sure if that would be the case or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
In any case, these fixes came from questions that you guys asked, and so these are things we're trying to do to help out some of the issues that you guys are having from time to time with offline progress.
Yeah, and I know Peter was trying to confirm that what he had changed didn't make anything slower. That
Yes.
was another piece he was looking at. So.
I don't think it shouldn't be slower, because if anything, we're just kind of skipping stuff we would have been doing. The only case where it would be slower, I guess, is where it would run into one of these sort of bugged states, and then previously it would have been like, oh, you died here, so we'll knock you back and just put you in the previous level and then finish the simulation in that area, whereas now it will be like, actually, you should keep on going, which would make it take a little bit longer, but would be more accurate. So
yeah, I mean, I do think like there were cases where, like as you said before, which might be confusing, like if you come back and you're destroying the monsters, where what had happened was that you had gotten to a point where you died, you'd been knocked back, and then it had finished the remaining simulation saying that you were there, and then you ended up with a bunch of gold built up, and then once the game started again, the familiars that were on the champions leveled them all up, and suddenly they were higher level than they had been before, which meant you were destroying it, which caused this appearance as though you'd gotten stuck there, but really you'd actually been knocked back, and then auto progress had been turned off. Anyway, hopefully those make a little bit of improvement there. Certainly it was not like a silver bullet, and there's no silver bullet for this system as it stands, but we can make it a little bit more lenient and maybe you can get a little bit better progress. Without, obviously, the other concern would be to make it trivial. You just go into offline progress and it just goes through and doesn't stop. So, okay, next question. This one is from Ainley Master. Could we have a season devoted to the Acquisitions Inc. C team? Walnut, Rosie, Cathris, and Dinar. Maybe Morgaine, since she didn't get a pass last time.
Yeah, so obviously with the AC Inc. season, we had a wide variety of champions to choose from, and we chose to keep it pretty specific to kind of the core AC Inc. team. The C team and Waffle Crew both did not make the cut for the most part on that one. I could see doing some reworks to those champions in the future. I don't know about doing a full season around them, maybe. But yeah, I could definitely see doing some reworks to some of those. I know Rosie has always been high on our list of champions that we would like to make awesome. So I definitely want to take a look at Rosie at some point in the future.
Okay.
It looks like, now I'm not sure about this, but it looks like it might be time to run our world famous
Stream famous?
Stream famous.
Infamous?
Some people know about this. Our gold chest giveaway. Now, if you haven't been here before and you don't know what I'm talking about, welcome to our stream. So this is the part of the stream where we give away 42 gold chests of your choice. The way it works is there will be a keyword that will soon appear in chat. And all you have to do is copy, paste that keyword back into chat and hit enter, and you will be entered for a chance to win 42 chests of your choice. It can be any type of chest that exists in the game, as long as I guess it has to be a type of chest that is released in the game, not just a type of chest that exists in the game. So those of you trying to get those year 4 event 15 chests that came out of nowhere, I don't know, you can't get those.
You can't get the clairvoyant admin chest? The one that
clairvoyant
knows what
admin
you're
chest,
thinking?
Yeah, no, that one's not available to regular users, just admin users.
But can you get a denim chest?
A denim chest.
What about a spandex chest?
Spandex chest.
A canvas chest?
Types of fabric?
A velvet chest? A silk chest?
Types of fabrics. I got it. And just 3.
Ooh,
I
you
didn't
can get a
actually look
cashmere
that time,
chest.
too. That'd be a nice That'd be a very soft chest.
And if you like Futurama, you have a velour chest.
Or if you just like velour.
Nobody likes velour.
Anyway, so good luck
yeah.
to everyone on that, and we now return to the questions.
That's true.
This next question here is in blue, which means it's for you.
Oh, well, it rhymes. It must be true.
Please don't sue.
I wasn't thinking about it. Maybe now. Put the idea in my head.
That did not rhyme. Okay, this question is from OG17, and they ask, or they say, a while back, the shop got a system to toggle through alternate views of an item, which can be seen with the Witchlight Nixie pack to switch her from pink to blue. But everything else you'd expect to use this feature doesn't. Could this system always be utilized when a skin with summons or transformations is added? Seeing everything would make people more likely to buy things. And I think there's a comment from Mars here that says some champions are even in an alternate form most of the time, so showing that is even more important than showing the base form. There must be some metadata.
Yes, I think there
set for
is.
Nixie.
I'm just looking. System toggle through. Because I know we definitely had something that was toggling through the various types of skins if they were included in like a pack that had different skins.
I think it's specific skins have like different forms.
Right. Everything else you expect this feature doesn't. Yeah, I mean, certainly this is something that we could look at for places that it made sense. Yeah, I'll have to think about that one. I'll tag it. We can talk about it tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Okay, next question. It's from Idiot Control Someday. Okay, interesting. And they would like to know, can we get someone with the ability to spawn constructs to help with construct-related patron stuff? We've got champs who help with every other type of patron enemy thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, having a champion that can spawn constructs and has like a favored foe thing related to constructs, I could see doing something like that. We've certainly done that kind of mechanic before, but as you say, not for constructs. So, yeah, it's not a bad idea. We're always looking for interesting things to make champions stand out, and give them something to do that no other champion does. So, yeah.
What the devil was that?
What?
There's some weird noise from behind us.
In
All right.
the tavern?
Yes, in the tavern.
Was the fire crackling?
No.
Somebody opening a barrel of ale? Is that what's going on? Like,
Okay, next question. This is from Foolish Genius 89. Can you explain the design intent behind Presto's Modron component farming ability?
sure, yeah. The thing I just talked about, where we always try to find something interesting for each champion to do. This is something that we thought would be an interesting niche for Presto to do, something that no other champion can do. No other champion can grant you Modron component pieces. What do we call it? Yeah,
Components?
well, see, this is a confusing thing. When we were designing this thing, it's like the actual pipes that you put in. Are those the Modron components, or are the Modron components the... Anyway, but yes, the pieces, the crafting pieces or upgrading pieces were something we thought it'd be interesting to have a champion that can grant those, and it would be, we put a cap on it so it's not game breaking, but still, kind of an interesting thing for Presto to do. A reason to pull them out every month or two and farm up some pieces, so you can upgrade one of your rares up to an epic.
Okay. The next question is a curious question.
This is for you.
I guess.
Cassius335 asks two questions. Can Justin cook? And can Justin settle disagreements one person might have with another person? I don't quite get the second part. I think
is the first one like a chef?
The first one is about the if they don't ask any questions.
Yes. What did you say in the intro that...
It's my cooking show, remember?
Yes, that's true.
I do make a mean ragu.
I mean...
Like it's
It's
mean.
angry?
It insults you as you eat it.
Justin can cook some things. He used to make chili a lot. Have you learned how to make new things since...
I do the primary... I do most of the cooking at my place. Though Lauren's been picking up the slack there recently.
And settle disagreements one person... I mean, I assume sometimes you might have, like, the information needed to settle the disagreement.
I'm a good mediator. No, I'm a good meat eater.
Mediator?
I'm not a good mediator.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't know.
Next question here is from Emote, who asks, can the tick box for saving feats with formations be default off? Or at least remember that we turned it off.
Yeah, so I know that there was one of the items on the list was to have a discussion about what to do with the saving feats with formation, just actually to go over it and think about how it's actually working, because it certainly didn't quite capture what players wanted it to do. I know, at the current state of it, and you probably know this, of course, is that for whatever formation that you've got saved, it remembers what you've left it at. But I guess for new formations, it is not. It's defaulting to on. I think this falls into that category of we do have to discuss what makes the most sense for that. Currently, you just have to turn it off. I don't know, Justin, have you had further thoughts on that one?
I feel like there's a couple checkboxes and stuff in game that it wouldn't be the end of the world if it
just remembered
what it was set to.
Yeah. Okay, next question. This one is from a Gurugi. I think that's close enough. Sorry if this has been asked before. Is it just me, or is it impossible to use Cleave in the Light of Xerxes campaign?
So this is a good question. One, I think we thought about this when we were putting together that formation. So Cleave is on Human. You got the 3 kobolds, and the one on top is determined by where you position Human in the formation. And it's basically back columns, front columns, and middle. And when you have a four column formation, sort of the middle two columns are the middle two, and then the front and back are just one column. When you have a 5 column formation, the front and back are actually the front two and the back two, and the middle is just the middlemost column. And of course, in the light of Xerixis, the middlemost column has an escort in it all the time. So no, Cleave is not usable in the Light of Xerixis campaign unless there's a variant that moves that escort to some other slot, which I thought we talked about doing, but we may not have done yet. So there might be some variants either now or in the future where you could use Cleave in the Light of Xerixis campaign, but otherwise, nope, not in the base adventures or in free plays. Fun little side effect. Are there some funny questions down there?
Oh, just comments from people. Well,
Talking about the Halo announcement
yes,
that we did at the top of the show.
Mars's commentary text.
All right.
He doesn't know we play a lot of or have played a lot of Halo.
Well, you wouldn't think it with how I was struggling to come up with the names of
Yes.
characters when we were talking about that
Yes.
before the show. But
Comment. It's a Halo reference. They're not being mean.
we just played.
Yes.
We just played what? Like it was like 4 or 5 hours of Halo on Saturday night.
Yeah, we
Some
did.
multiplayer.
Got that
Finished Halo
firefight.
4, played some firefight.
Yeah.
Debating the merits of the chopper versus the warthog with the turret.
Each to their own, Justin.
Anyway,
You're just jealous you had to go on your own by yourself in a chopper.
I got just as many kills as the two of you combined.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Anyway.
Whatever makes you feel better. Next question. This one is from SpankCute. Is it still planned to allow for legendaries to be upgraded without the requirement to use favor?
Yeah, I think that's something I would still like to do. So it'll happen basically at the point at which we get around to doing sort of some updates to legendary crafting or trials. So I don't have a timeline for it.
It's not February 8th?
Spoiler, the February 8th announcements will not have any relation to trials or legendary crafting.
You know, if you tell them everything it's not going to be in it, maybe. Yeah. Okay, next question. This is from Imaginal Disc. Any plans to let champions change attack types with a feat? For example, Crux has a fun spec to boost magic attackers, but cannot himself make magic attacks. He's been wonderful for the Xerixis completionism.
Yeah, so this is actually something that we've talked about, having attack types change with feats. I think we talked about it again recently. I think we've talked about it in the past before, and I think it is possible. Feats are one of those things where because you can swap them in and out during variants, it becomes a kind of an awkward thing to do, especially if they're saved to the formation, where you kind of swap in a formation and then have it like not bring in that champion because a feat has swapped out and made them ineligible. And obviously we still, we do stat-based ability score feats, so it's an expected thing, but I think we're always hesitant to do things that will change stuff like that. With that said, I would like to do some feats that change attack types, as long as it's not too much work on the dev side or the art side to have if there's multiple animations required or things like that. But I think it should be doable. I don't see any reason we couldn't do it.
Okay.
The next question here is for you. It's from Meow Arf Moo. It has to do with the potion manager.
Oh boy.
They ask, can we get an option to apply X amount of time to a selected group of potions instead of using each potion individually?
X amount of time.
So I think the idea
what would
here
the choice
is,
for that be?
I think the idea here is like the large potion lasts for an hour, the medium one lasts for 30 minutes, the small one lasts for 15 minutes, and they'd like to just use an hour's worth of each potion. So they don't have to click use the small one 4 times and use the medium one 2 times for every one of the large ones they use.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, 15 and 5, not 30 and 15.
Oh, you're getting called out here. Yep.
I don't use potions. I just hit the dev, thing.
Specifically just for speed?
Just for speed,
Just
yeah.
for the speed roast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. I do wonder, like, it starts to get a little bit, like,
Control
more.
plus, apparently we've already kind of done this. Control plus potion already does 1 hour's worth.
Oh, does it? Well, shoot.
We need to,
Yeah.
you know what would probably be good? If we
Some kind of instructions?
showed that somewhere
Yeah,
so that we
yeah.
don't need people in chat to remind us that we've
Yeah.
already done that.
I mean, now that they mention it, I have a vague memory of like asking Alex to add that feature to it when it was.
I have the same thing, but I feel like we should add some text on there somewhere that says Control click to use 1 hour's worth of potions.
Can we get Justin's speed button? Yeah, you just hit Control A, and then it goes into the admin dot. Oh wait, you have to be an admin. Yeah.
Or have a hacked client.
They probably could bring that up with a hacked client.
I
couldn't
know
they?
for a fact that they do.
Oh, well, don't give them ideas.
Okay, well, let's push forward. We got more questions.
Sure. Next question here is from Niscus. Good day. Are more pirate skins coming soon to Idle Champions? Thanks in advance. should. Where's my pirate skin?
Absolutely. Yes, we should do more pirate skins. I don't actually design which skins come, so I would love to do more pirate skins. Usually they're themed around something. I'm not entirely sure who comes up with the theming. I think it's probably Dupuis. So I'll pass on the fact that you would like more pirate skins.
More pirates.
I will add that to my one-on-one list next time I chat with Dupuis.
Okay. Next question. This is from Slytherin Kid 30.
Oh.
Okay.
He's from Slytherin?
He's not a kid if he's 30.
He's just the 30th kid in Slytherin.
Terrible joke. Anyway, is Gale coming to Idle Champions?
Probably. Yeah, I think so. I seem to recall that name. That name is familiar to me.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
feel like I played another video game with them in it recently, or they're coming to Idle Champions. One of those two, or both.
At least one. At least one.
At least
Yeah,
one.
at least one.
Yeah.
All right. Next question is from Numantis. Given that 2023 was incredibly light on systems updates / new systems, can we be hopeful? Oh, you can always be hopeful. What?
You stopped right there. You just keep on reading.
Oh, yeah, no, we're good. We're going. I was going to carry on. Can we be hopeful that 2024, that wasn't the end of the sentence, can we be hopeful, yeah, will actually bring us new things with a bit more regularity?
Yeah.
I don't know about the regularity part.
I think 2024 will bring system updates and new systems, and I would definitely tune into a future episode of Dev Insights on a date that is redacted, because there will be some very fun stuff to talk about on that show, which may or may not be next week.
May or may not be.
But
they can be hopeful.
Very looking forward to it.
Right? They're allowed to be hopeful.
You're definitely allowed to be hopeful. I'm
Yeah.
also hopeful. As one of the people implementing, potentially implementing said systems. I am hopeful that they will come out in 2024.
That's right. You put your developer hat on to make some of that stuff happen.
I did. I temporarily switched from developer to developer designer
Yep.
to write some code.
Mm-hmm.
So if it doesn't work, I guess it's my fault.
That's right. You heard it here first. Okay, next question. This is from Randram. Obscure question about what we've seen hinted at regarding potential starting already with Festival of Fools. Feel free to
I
redact.
should have read that first.
Sorry, what is the obscure question? Let me put this together. About what we've seen hinted at regarding potentially starting already with Festival of Fools.
I don't know why they said already 2 times, but it's fine.
Yes, already. Will that be discussed on the 8th?
So basically, I think
they've been
I think
looking at the
well
data.
The well of spoilers
Yeah.
is maybe playing with fire.
And they found some icons.
They found some stuff.
They definitely didn't see me using Unreal and then like call it out in the channel.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I think to answer the question directly, yes, I think we'll be ready to talk about some of that stuff on next week.
Blame Justin for hugs. That's weird.
Blame me for hugs?
I think someone might have been writing bugs.
Oh, like if you blame me, then you get hugs? Yeah, I'm okay with that.
I don't
that's
think
good.
that's what they're going
Blame
for.
Justin, comma, get hugs.
Okay. Next question. This is from the Lurking Writer, which is the question I was laughing at earlier. With the Halo announcement, what design choice in the game would you call a monument to all your sins?
Oh man, what is the worst design decision we ever made in the game?
It's not the offline progress system. Is that the monument to all our sins?
No. Yeah, I mean...
That game where you keep digging and digging and digging a hole, and then you get crystals.
That's a different game.
Oh.
Now that was an awesome game. I mean, that was an awesome mini game.
Okay,
yeah, I wanted to make a whole game out of that mini game.
I know you did.
In fact, I think there are kind of games, like it's called Spelunky, I think. Yeah.
It's all based off like that Mario Brothers 2 dig tunnel.
Maybe.
Down through the sand.
Yeah, you dig down through the sand.
Angry mask floats around and tries to get you.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know what I would say would be the worst design decision in Idle Champions. There are certainly a couple of contenders. But we're trying to fix what we can.
How about that time you made the patron rewards on an exponential curve?
We don't talk about that. That was not a good design choice. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. You're not gonna. I assume you're not gonna give an answer.
No, the patron scaling is definitely one.
It's the most recent one.
Yeah, I'd really like tanking and healing to be working.
I feel there was like a barrowing bug that was pretty bad.
Now we're going deep cuts. That was like 7 years ago, man. Get over it.
Okie dokie. Next question. This is from Numantis. Can you please stop using champion portraits for spec selection when the spec affects more than the pictured champion? It is incredibly, I'm adding inflection, I'm sure is here, misleading.
Okay.
See Presto and Thalora.
Sure, okay. Adam. Adam. Stop using champion portraits for specs. He's not paying attention.
All right.
Okay, well, I'll let Adam know that you don't like it. I agree it can be a little bit misleading. I know we had one on a recent champion where Adam did the portrait did the spec choice for it, and he used a champion portrait to like sort of point out the synergy, and it turned out to be a champion that was in the same bench seat as the champion, so it was like double misleading. So we got that changed. I think Mars heard that or found that one. So yeah, I agree. I think we use them that way mainly for just for the speed to get things done faster. We produce an incredible amount of content here. We have a very talented team of artists who I was just yelling at.
Who were ignoring you as per usual.
Who were ignoring me as per usual. But they work very hard to get all of this stuff out. So sometimes they cut a corner there to get a spec icon out a little faster. And I think generally we'll give them a break, but I'll let Adam know that you are displeased.
All right.
The next question here is from the real Bunny Beast, who asks a very technical question: Git merge or Git debase?
Debase. Wow. I'd like to use deglaze. I have to deglaze my,
Git merge or Git rebase?
Well, I won't bore people, but Mark likes to use rebase because he's a little more sophisticated, and I use merge like a Philistine.
Yeah, and I use the
you
GUI.
use the GUI. So I guess.
What's a rebase? I don't even know.
Yes. Yes. If you want to have any level of proficiency, you have to use the command line for Git. The GUI is just so slow.
Now that's too far.
What GUI is the GUI? Tortoise Git.
Tortoise Git
is the GUI we're talking about. which we avoid using typically.
It does what I need it to do. It can
Yeah.
commit, it can pull, it can push.
I just love the fact that if you mistype, it knows what you meant, and it says, "Did you mean this?" It'll get you every time. The git pshaw. It's like, no, did you mean push? Is that what you meant? Anyway.
Next question.
Yes, the next
got time
question
for one or
is
two more.
from Foolish Genius 89. Does Presto's cap count days since he came out, or days since you acquired him? The second feels super unfair for new players.
Yes, I agree. The second feels super unfair for new players, which is why we implemented the first. It counts days since he came out. So if you were a new player and you recruit him in a year, you will still get you'll get that base 2,000 plus all of the things from the last year, all the 20 per day from the last year, and then you'll start to accrue additional ones after that. So it's the same for all players regardless of when you got him.
Still laughing at them saying you use SVN.
We all used SVN at one point.
That's
Before
true.
there existed the Git.
Before
and then
we
before
used
that,
CSV or CVS, CVS, right?
and back
Or is
in
that
my
just, like,
day, we used a
drugstore?
flash drive. That's where the files are.
Oh dear. Okie dokie. Next question from Asphilia357. On the Modron settings screen, can we get a few custom settings buttons that we can set? Something like long press to set the value, normal click to use that value for level reset, similar to how you already have the preset levels. Now, I highlighted this because I was going to ask you if you knew what they meant.
I
press to set
think
the value.
like you have a couple of buttons that will load presets, and you can like press
Do
and
you
hold
want to like set
to
them like
set.
we used to set the VCR?
Yeah, and then just click them to load that. So basically, yeah, like, and then of course, knowing us, we'd have no text whatsoever that
Right,
explains
it'd just
how
be
this
a
works.
control click.
And so
might
people
be,
would just
you
like
know.
click them once.
We've never
You're like, it
used
doesn't do
long
anything.
press
These
for
buttons don't do anything. We actually do use long press. We use long press for
no.
exiting a time gate before it expires.
Oh, well, we got some of those ones. They have the little thing, and the button
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
around. Like it
Yeah.
visually shows
Yeah.
which is different from like hold. Yeah, okay.
It's the same-
Okay,
it's the
yeah.
same
All right.
Just
I'll
the way
grant.
it's displayed.
I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, wow, we're getting low on questions today.
Well, we're also getting low on time because it's
That's
2:57. It's time
true.
for us to say goodbye so that Sean can come and play with people.
That's true. But we do have one last question
Oh,
here.
do we? Okay.
And this one is from the Lurking Writer. and they would very seriously would like to know, are either of you named Dupuis? If not, then why are you giving out spoilers?
Yeah, actually, I have an announcement.
You're changing your name?
Dupuis has adopted me.
You're taking his name?
I'm now the son Dupuis never had, and
I think you already are the son that Dupuis never had. So.
They changed my name on here to Justin Dupuis, giver of spoilers. Actually, that'll be me
Yes.
next week. Definitely tune in next week. It's going to be fun times. Oh my
Yes.
gosh,
Had
I'm
by
so
all.
excited. I'm so excited for next week's episode. To finally be able to talk about the stuff we've been working on for
Yeah.
quite a little while.
But then there's the stuff after that we can't talk about till March 8th.
It's true.
So
I'm just going to keep the spoiler train
it's a cliffhanger.
just ahead.
It
Yeah.
works for TV, so I think it works here too.
There you go.
Yeah.
One
Okay.
episode a month.
Cool.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all the time we have questions for this week. If we didn't get to your questions, don't worry. You will have another opportunity. Though you're going to want to throw away the questions you had this week and come up with new questions because there are some. Tune in next week.
That's true.
You will have another opportunity to ask some more questions when we are live. Then
That's true. And of course,
I didn't say the second part
All
of my
right,
thing
well,
here.
do your
Before we
thing.
sign off, though, we would like to thank our tireless mods. Gabe and Mars, they're the ones who copy your questions into our questions doc and make things awesome in chat. So thanks to both of you.
and of course, thanks to all of you for hanging out, watching the stream, having such great questions, and for enjoying the game. Because without you, no one here would get to do what we do.
And we like what we do.
Okay, that's it. That's enough. Enjoy the rest of your whatever you're having. Probably a day.
A day,
Everyone.
Most people are having days, Dave.
Yeah. Could be an evening. Ah. Oh. So, last week I was at the airport,
Uh-huh.
and my friend suggested that we should disguise ourselves as luggage.
Really?
I said, no, let's not get carried away.
Last week's was better.